The latest chapter of One Piece 1173 called Warrior Generation was absolutely amazing, you guys. And we're here to talk about it and review the whole chapter. And from the get-go, from the beginning, we are right back on track. We are in the whole field where you've got all the devils that are facing now Yaro with some of his giants on his side and everything. But at the same time, you've got Zoro that just showed up and he's basically asking Hajrudin if he can slash some of those giant demons. And Stusen is also there, and the both of them actually don't want the giants to get hurt because, you know, they have respect for Dorian Broggy and the rest of the giant pirate crew and all of that. So that's why they don't want them to get hurt. But as soon as some of those giant devils started talking shit about Hajrudin and Stusen, that's it. They were like, yeah, Zoro, go for it, to take care of them. And he's like, I got you. But Zoro, at the same time, he does not want to literally just kill them straight up, you know, because Zoro has the capabilities, you know, of a very strong foe, even against the giants and everything. And so what Zoro decided to do, his plan, basically the strategy that Zoro was talking about throughout the latest one of the latest chapters, where he was saying, yeah, I got a plan and everything. Well, actually the plan is for him to jump actually on top of those giant demons, and instead of being actually in between them means you get transformed into a demon. And the fact that he actually jumps on top of them and he's not like right next to them or close to them or in between them, that means he doesn't get transformed into a demon, and that works for Zoro, you know? So he's jumping from one head to the other, and right after that, he literally jumps up, and Zoro gets ready. And when he jumps up, Zoro gets literally ready, and he unleashes one of his attacks. The attack is called Crossing the Six Paths, and basically you see all of those giant devils, their weapons actually got destroyed. And by doing that, literally Dorian Broggy actually noticed Zoro, and they go like, Noah? So they actually, of course, know Zoro and everything. And from that same point of view, they were actually gonna come for him. And Zoro basically decided to do one of his attacks in the air so that he jumps from his attack. And when he jumped up, he basically let Dorian Broggy, instead of hitting him, well, they basically hit each other. And they destroyed each other's weapons, and they even got slashed each other from each other's attacks, basically. And what I'm guessing is his strategy right here was to literally bring Dorian Brage one against the other, basically just like it used to happen back in the day when they started their brawl over who's got the over who had the biggest creature that they took out of the sea and all of that. And that started literally 100 years worth of fighting. So literally from that same perspective, if you set them both one against the other, well, they're going to be busy actually for some time, and that way Zoro and all the others can deal with other stuff. But then we jump to another branch of the tree of Elbaf, and now we are on branch number 8. And on this branch, this is where we actually see Brook. And thank God, because from the latest chapters that we had, everybody was asking the question, where's Brook? No one saw Brook in the latest chapters. What's going on? Where is he at? And you know, remember, Brook had a moment with Gunko where he was like remembering her from his past and everything. And so this is the moment where we actually get some of the information that we need about Gunko. And in that information, literally on this branch, Brook is on the ground, fully wrapped with those arrows that Gunko can create, and that way she could actually control Brook at the same time. And Brook says something very interesting, because he doesn't call Gunko by her name Gunko, but he calls her by her real name, and her real name is actually Princess Shuri. And he says to the princess, hey, you literally look like her. You have two eyes of a different color, you've got blue hair, and at the same time, with the face she's got and the ties that she's got to the world government and everything, all of this actually lines up. But he's at the same time like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense, because in that case she would be like 80 years old or something like that right now, you know. And after giving her all of those arguments on the fact that she might be Princess Shuri, literally Brooks' face completely switches from hey, 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 are you Princess Shuri to I never wanted to see you again. You are the King Slayer, you slayed your father. And Brook is like, I never wanted to think of you again for the rest of my life. Not the father killing princess. The life you stole away belonged to the man to whom I owe everything. So you understand that Princess Shuri actually killed her father, that was the king of the country where Brook resides, and that king might have probably been the role model for Brook, and he might have saved Brook from the streets or something like that, and he gave him basically everything. That's why Brook is saying that he owes him everything, even down to learning how to use a sword and everything. Maybe that's thanks to that king. And since we don't know all of the story, and since also Brook doesn't know all of the story probably, what I'm probably guessing happened is that Gunko got possessed by Emu or something happened, and it was not actually her that did it, but it was through the eyes or through the feeling of Emu that she actually did what she did. Maybe I'm just spitting out theories right there, because now that we know that she's actually a princess, we know that all the princesses in One Piece are going to play a big role, and a big positive role in a way. So that's why I'm saying, hey, that might be a theory, just like it might be another theory where she completely went nuts and did what she actually really did. You never know, but we'll check it out in the future. And from that perspective, literally Gunko, aka Princess Shuri, at that moment started to remember a little bit, because it hit her like what Brook was saying to her. And from that perspective, literally she was saying to Brook, run. So she remembered something at that time, but Emu took control right back, and Emu was like, how dare you actually go and defy me right now, like what's going on? But from that perspective, Brook literally got freed from all of those arrows a little bit, and now actually he can move. And Emu wants to literally punish Gunko right there, and basically Emu punishes Gunko from the inside, basically. And after that, Brook is looking at Gunko, aka Princess Shiro. He's literally, he does not understand what's going on in front of him, and he's like, who the hell are you? And literally Emu, aka Gunko, charges towards Brook, and Brook has to protect himself, so he puts the shield and everything, and you can see the direct clash in between Emu, aka Gunko, aka the princess, and on the other side, Brook. And Brook, a legendary moment right there. Brook is the only Straw Hats that went against an emperor, and Emu itself currently. Respect to that. And I'm gonna be making a video about it, so tune in for that one, guys. But now we go back to Usopp's side and everything. And since Gunko lost her concentration, Emu lost her concentration for like 2 seconds, Gunko had the time to kind of like release a little bit of the pressure that's going on. And even people like Usopp, Nami, and Jinbei had those arrows around them, but now actually they're free, thank God. And even like the arrow that used to take the kids towards the ship is like wobbling and everything. So something happened, but Emu took control back again like 2 seconds later, and then he went back. But the Straw Hats, those 2 seconds, that's all they needed. And that's the moment where we see actually Nami that's trying to strategize so that they go and help the kids and go check out the library and everything. But right after that, we jump literally to the last scenes of the chapter, and now we are back to Summers, and Summers is literally directing all of the kids to make sure that they go to the ship, so that they basically kidnap them and everything. And Gaban's son is not shutting up. He's like, you'll see, the giants, they will come after you, because I think you are the demon that Yaro was actually talking about. And Summers actually doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I know the giants in this country are very, very strong, and that's why we are using you guys to actually, make them docile and everything. And that's why we gotta take you. And when we're gonna take your Marie Swap, you're never gonna see your home country never again. And the kids are like, what? what the hell? I want to see Elbaf again. But from that same perspective, now we are back to the shot of the mothers with some of the other giants and everything that are coming to actually save the kids. And on that end, they are also followed by a bunch of monsters everywhere, and they're still fighting those monsters everywhere so that they can go and help the kids. And they are facing literally monsters left and right. For example, even one of the monsters that's there is the demon Nika, for example, the Nika that's coming from the nightmares of the kids. And he is literally so big, even compared to the giants and everything. But in the back, we've got three giants of the new giant pirates, basically, from Hajruddin's ship and all of that. And those three got ready because it's not just one, it's not just two, but it's basically three attacks that happen at the same time. And it's that Hakoku sovereignty, basically, the same one that Dover and Brage used back in the day to help the Straw Hats, or even the same one that Big Mom likes to use here and there sometimes. So in this, we understand that two generals, basically two giants using it, it gets called Hakoku sovereignty, I think. But then when you add up a third general, that's when it's get called a Gokoku sovereignty, basically. And their attack against that demon Nika or whatever, literally it was so strong that it literally ravished everything, to the point where it ravished even Summers that was trying to protect the ship against the destruction of the ship. That literally happened by the end of the chapter. And Saint Summers was like, oh shit, I messed up. And yeah, clearly Summers truly messed up in this chapter. We got a perspective from all views of what the Straw Hats are currently doing, the opponents that they're gonna be facing, and at the same time the opponents of the Giants too, trying to save the kids and everything. And this chapter was absolutely insane because we still get some information here and there about how strong the God's Knights are and everything, and we also got some information about Gunko, aka the princess. So you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you feel about this chapter? Let me know down in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and your boy is gonna see you in the next one.